The first and really important step to stop translating in your head, start thinking in chunks. You're thinking, what does that mean, Lucia? What does it mean to start thinking in chunks? Native speakers don't think word by word. They think in small chunks. So a few words put together, let's say. So let's test this quickly. If I say, do I need to make my homework? Did that sentence sound right for you? Probably not, right? It sounds robotic and not natural. To say this in a natural, short chunk would sound something like, I need to do my homework. To simplify, that's how speaking in English works. We don't just memorize word by word, but we learn sentences in chunks. So this helps you sound so much more natural when you are speaking in English. So let's try a few more. For example, I will go get a coffee. A small chunk would sound like, I'm gonna grab a coffee. Next, it depends on you. Or a chunk would look like, it's up to you. As you can see, native speakers don't just think about grammar when they're speaking in the moment. They're not carefully thinking about grammar rules. They're just speaking in little chunks that sound natural and easy. Let's look at some of these English chunks that we can use to express feelings and emotions. So say them with me. Number one, I can't be bothered. So this means I'm too lazy to do something right now. That's a shame. That means I feel sorry for you that something's happened. Fair enough means that's reasonable. You're kidding means, are you serious about this? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. This just tells someone that you've understood what they're saying, that you understand them. All of these little chunk phrases are going to help you sound a lot more natural when you're speaking in English and help you to stop translating in your head word by word. Here's a quick challenge for you. Next time you're watching a film or a movie or listening to a podcast, don't listen for individual words. Try to listen to the phrases that are being used or these small chunks. So when you hear one, try to repeat it. So listen and repeat it out loud. Try to think of the rhythm of this sentence. So here's an example of what a rhythm might sound like. So the sentence, what does that mean? If we're looking for the rhythm of this sentence, it would sound something like, what does that mean? Listen again. What does that mean? Here are a few more examples. Let me think. Let me think. I'll have a look. I will have a look. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. So you can start collecting these chunks and use them as little tools to help you sound more natural when you are speaking. The more little chunks you know, the easier it's going to be to stop translating in your head. Trust me. Okay, the next tip here, which is super important, is describe what you see out loud. This is one of my absolute favorites, and the reason is because honestly, it works. Wherever you are, on the bus, at school, even at work on your lunch break, start speaking in English out loud. Or if you're embarrassed and you're in a public place, say it out loud in your head. So basically, what you're doing here is narrating your day in your head. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Don't overthink it. Just literally narrate in your mind. So here's an example. Let's say I am sitting on the bus. I could say out loud or in my head, the bus is driving very slowly right now, and I'm feeling a little bit stressed because I need to get to work more quickly. Oh, that woman over there is wearing a lovely blue dress. So that's it. Super simple. You're not performing, you're just training your brain to start thinking in English, as your usual default will be to think of these things in your own language. So that's a really easy practice that you can do all the time. And like I said, you don't have to say it out loud if that's embarrassing, you can just say it in your head. At first, this is probably going to be really weird and uncomfortable. You might be thinking very slowly, but don't worry, that's all part of the process. It will get easier in time. You can start really simply. For example, step 1, just nouns and actions. So say what you're doing and what you see. For example, I am brushing my teeth, or I am opening the fridge. Step 2 is you can add some thoughts and feelings to this. I am opening the fridge. I can see a chocolate bar. I am feeling very hungry. That chocolate bar looks yummy. Here we're adding some more detail, how we feel and what's going on. And finally, step 3, making connections. So link your ideas together. Here's an example. I'm running late because I missed the bus. Or I'm happy that it's Friday. Or I'm cooking pasta and I'm also listening to music. This is a great song. I really like it. As you can see, we are adding opinions, emotions, what we're doing, and connecting them all together. Next, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful techniques to help you stop translating in your head. This is called shadowing. Okay, let me explain to you what shadowing is if you don't know already. Basically, it's when you listen to someone speaking, and that can be your English teacher or a native speaker in this case, for example, and you copy exactly what they've said with your voice. So you copy not only what they've said, but the tone, the pronunciation, the intonation, and try to copy exactly how they sound. It's really about training your brain to start speaking in English patterns. You can find, for example, a clip somewhere on YouTube or a movie scene and listen very carefully, pause the video, and copy exactly what's been said. This is a very, very simple and easy way to practice shadowing in your own time without needing a tutor around. You can do this multiple times, and a fun thing to do even is to record yourself so that you can listen to how you sound and compare it to the video that you just watched. The third thing you can do is to play the video again. This time, try to speak at exactly the same time as the person speaking. See if you can match the speed, the rhythm, the tone, and the pronunciation of what they are saying. So let's try an example. Let's say you hear someone say, "I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a coffee real quick." Now, instead of translating in your head, don't. Just listen and try to repeat exactly what they've said. Notice how things like "I'm going to" becomes "I'm gonna." This is what real English sounds like, and the more you copy this tone, the more natural you're going to sound. You don't need to do it for hours either. Even 5 minutes a day of doing this is going to make a really, really big impact. Maybe just pick a few clips from Friends or The Crown, I don't know, whatever TV show or movie you like, and try the shadowing technique. Over time, you're going to notice that your mouth just automatically starts picking up on this way of speaking. So one thing that you really need to learn to do to stop translating in your head is actually producing English. One way you can do this is by telling mini stories in English. So I don't mean like long stories, Hollywood drama type thing. I just mean very simple day-to-day stories. Here's an example. Today I woke up pretty late. I set my alarm for 7:45, but I ended up waking up at 9 o'clock. It put me in a bit of a weird mood for the day because I lost track of my routine. So these kind of sentences, these mini stories, they sound very natural. You've got time phrases like "this morning," "then," "today," and then you've got emotions and little reactions about things. So a really good thing to do is to practice telling these little stories either to yourself or to a friend or someone you know that you can practice with in English. As a practice, every day you can pick a small moment and try to make a mini story out of it. For example, what I did this morning, what happened on the bus, the way that I felt when I was at work earlier. So keep these stories really short, 30 seconds to a minute, but try to be consistent and tell these stories to yourself or to people every day. The more you do this, the more natural it starts to become and feel. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can set a recording for about 1 minute. You can record yourself telling these little stories non-stop, just about your day or things that happened. So the more you do it, the more natural it's going to feel. And in no time, you're suddenly going to notice, oh wow, I'm actually starting to think in English now. All right, let's be honest. I know it's a lot easier to think in English when you are surrounded by English all the time, when you're surrounded by native speakers, if you're living in an English-speaking country. But even if you're not, there are still ways to surround yourself in English. This brings us to the next very important tip. Surround yourself with English. Start with the small stuff. So change your phone settings to English. Anytime you scroll through your phone, you're going to see things come up in English. You can follow English content creators online, so on YouTube, on Instagram, for example. So start listening and following English-speaking content. That's going to help a lot. Nowadays, we all use social media. That's a lot of your time. And if you can spend some of that time learning English, then great. You can put the subtitles on when you're watching your favorite show. Keep the subtitles in English so that you're always reading in English when you're watching your favorite films, TV shows, or even YouTube videos. And most importantly, speak. Speak in English as much as you can, even if that's just to yourself. Try to speak in English, record yourself, play it back, and keep doing this. Even if it's just 1 minute per day, this is going to really help. Overall, think of learning English like a mindset instead of a technique. It's not about being perfect, and you don't have to be thinking perfectly in English. You just have to start trying. It's about training your brain to feel comfortable with speaking in English, and then save the perfection until later. If you wait for your grammar to be perfect in English, then you're never going to start. So start now, start imperfectly, but just start. That's my advice. Here's a little example of something that's maybe not perfect. Let's say you forget a word. Freezing and then switching back to your language is the easiest thing to do, right? Yes. Try this instead. Just work around it. So, for example, you could say something like, it's like that thing that you use for cutting vegetables. Or, I forgot the word, but it's like a big spoon. See, so even if we forget the words, we can still think in English and try to find another way to think about it. Fluency doesn't mean knowing every single word. It just means that you carry on anyway. So next time you forget a word and you feel really stuck in your head, instead of pausing and freezing, just keep going. Try to describe it in a different way and just relax a bit. Don't try to be perfect. The last and final step, and it's just as important as all the other ones. At some point in your English learning journey, you have to stop thinking of English as the language I'm learning and start thinking of it as the language I live in. This little shift changes everything. When you start to think of English as a part of your identity, you stop thinking of it like some boring homework that you have to do. It's now just a part of who you are. You'll start to notice small changes at first, like maybe you choose to read an article in English just because you enjoy the challenge. You'll find yourself thinking, how would I say this in English? Just because your brain is curious about knowing what that sounds like. So let me give you a few examples how to practically build that connection with English. When you're out shopping, try to just name some things in your head. Ah, there's some bread over there. I really need some bread. Oh, those apples look fresh. Those oranges are quite expensive. So another thing you can do is write a text message to a friend in English. Or maybe your phone's default language is in English, so every time you read your phone, you're going to be reading in English. These are small things, but they really do add up. And then there's the inner voice, like we spoke about. So instead of thinking in your own language, let's say when you're going to work, start thinking about your day in English. For example, I've got a meeting at 10, then lunch with Sarah, then I have my English class later. So remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start living in English. So think of it like, I'm not studying English anymore. English is just a part of who I am. You're becoming the kind of person that thinks, that jokes, that reacts in English. Okay, here's your challenge for the week. Pick one of these habits and try to do it every single day for 7 days. Whether it's describing what you see, shadowing someone, or telling little stories in your head. Think of learning English like you're creating a new habit. And once your brain realizes that you don't need to translate anymore, then English starts to flow naturally, more confidently. So let me know in the comments if you tried any of these, or if you do try this challenge and it helps, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching today. Really great to have you here, and see you next time.